So you're not riding with the best? Welcome back to the channel. You know, when I was first shopping around for a bike, I did my homework. I researched the bikes I was looking at as much as I could. But you never know what you're gonna get until you spend some time on it. Some riders keep their first bike for a long time or several years. Others get rid of it after a few thousand miles. I knew though pretty quickly that Scarlett was a keeper. This is my 2012 Honda Cbr600rr, and I just want to share with you what I like about her. Now, I love you, darling, but you are not the fastest 600. But I'm not out here trying to set the fastest lap time. There aren't any checker flags to cross or champagne bottles next to pretty models. I don't care about laying down the smackdown, even though it's fun when it happens. I just wanted a bike that was manageable, you know, on the highway, in the city, or downtown. Usually the last place you'll find a super sport. And all that's possible because of the excellent power band the CBR has. The low-end torque, it'll make cruising at low speeds, just like I am doing now, effortless. I mean, I've been to the hill country several times and it's great. The mid-range, well, that's the mid-range. Some say it's boring, but it works for me. That's why I spend most of the time riding or when I commute. But don't be fooled though, because what happens after 9,000 RPM? What I'm trying to say, man, is that all the power-driven specs that journalists or even other motovloggers or articles push, it really isn't important when you're out here on 2-lane paved roads, especially for a newbie. I needed a bike that was easy to ride and inspired confidence, because these streets can be savage. Hey, Mark, what's up? Where you at? What are you up to? Hey, what's up? Hey, Julie, what's up? What are you up to? Oh, you in class? You know why you'll never, ever find me in that situation? Because Scarlett has a fuel gauge. She's one of a kind. She's a special one, I tell you. And before you go on, how about you be riding all your life without one, that it's not essential. I get it, but it's the little things that make the difference. When I'm about to go on a ride, I don't have to look into my gas tank. I don't have to be resetting my trip. It's just peace of mind. And when I was looking for bikes, if I'm being honest, I thought it was standard on all of them. Obviously, I was wrong, and I had a little jewel in my hands. And over the years, you know, I appreciate having one. It has saved me, man, for reals. Now, pro tip, if you're someone who takes a lot of road trips or, you know, doesn't have one, something that my father taught me that he would do on his trips from California all the way down to Jalisco, Mexico. You check that out, all right? Google that. He would get a 1 quart of oil bottle, you know, wash it, rinse it, whatever. He will fill that up with gas, wrap it, put it in a bag, whatever, and store it in his bag. And he said that he resorted to that several times. It saved him from, you know, getting stranded. That might be something you want to try as backup. You know, heck, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it either if I go on a trip. But again, thankfully, I haven't had a need to, you know, because I can just look down. I know approximately what I get, so I can estimate, okay, there's a gas station X miles away, so I know I'll make it. Instead of pulling over, looking, trying to look to see how much you have left, you know, it's just a hassle. Now, I know it's nothing serious, but again, I'm just glad to have one, and it helps out, man. It really does. But anyways, that's another great thing that I like about her. Another sweet characteristic of Scarlett is the undertail exhaust. Man, I gotta love it. I believe any motorcycle that has an undertail exhaust is 1,000 times sexier, automatically. From the exotic Ducati 916 to the iconic Agusta F14 to older models of the R1 and Daytona 675, it makes them look more sleek, more symmetrical, and overall just more aesthetically pleasing. But unfortunately, they are going away. And I kind of understand why. Because if I was to draw up a pros and cons chart for you, on the pro side, it'll be looks. And that's about it. Cons, starting from the top, trunk space. Now this is a bit silly that we're complaining about this, even to the point of almost demanding more space from the manufacturers, but it should be enough for your, I don't know, your power commander, insurance, you know, whatever papers you might need, a little toolkit. But I've never dealt with that or had that problem because I have a backpack with me at all times. So you gotta do it with whatever you have. Next, we have the heat. I live in Texas. It gets 100 plus. You think I'm gonna notice a little heat from the exhaust or underneath the seat? If you're considering this bike and that was something that you were concerned about, pun intended, but don't sweat it. You know, you're not gonna notice it. We'll move on to where it's located. Since it takes more material, that's more weight, more money, more problems. Now, I've never worked on bikes, but I think I did everything at the same time. Fender eliminator, brake lights, and the exhaust. I wouldn't say it was smooth, but it wasn't terrible. Everything came out just fine. And because of what I just mentioned, the more weight, people say that there's loss of horsepower, which there probably is. Unless you're an expert, unless you're tracking the thing, you're not gonna notice it. The difference is negligible. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I did my research. I checked out all the exhaust sound compilations. I know what the Yoshimura sounds like, the Two Brothers, the Leo Vince, and it was pretty easy to decide on the toes. I think every CBR I've seen is paired with the toes. So it's definitely just a beautiful sound that it's like music to our ears, right? How we say it. So that covers that. Let's get back on the bike and wrap up the video.
And last but not least, what makes this bike so legendary, it's the reliability. You cannot talk about Hondas without bringing that up. I'm about to hit 50,000 miles. Ask me how many times have I taken to the shop for a repair? Once. That is impressive, but it's not unheard of from Hondas. It makes everything just so much better. It's the icing on the cake, knowing you have that kind of reputation backing you up. And I'm not being biased here. It's definitely a benchmark in the world of motorcycles. And when I tell you that the engine sounds just as good, just as strong and solid as when I first bought it, I'm telling you the truth and nothing but the truth. Now, how comfortable, how fun and laid back the journey has been, man, I can't speak enough good things about it. Thanks to its geometry, its city-friendly ergonomics, man, that's why I won't hesitate to buy another Honda in the future or recommend them, you know? So if you're looking for a bike that'll be fun, it'll be fast, but it'll allow you to develop your skills with ease, do not sleep on the CBR. Don't do it, because it will impress you. It will not disappoint. And that is all I have for you today, man. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you stayed to the very end, go fanatic on that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me, and meet me down in the comments. Let me know what you ride and why you love it. As always, broadcasting from the Alamo City, ride and be free.